Hello and welcome to another NihongoGamer video. As you can see, I'm not holding one, but two EKSA gaming headsets, and these are called the Plus and the Pro. But you might be a little bit surprised as to which one actually has the better sounding mic, so stay tuned. Listen, these headsets were sent to me by a company called EKSA, the EKSA AirJoy Plus. The other one here is the EKSA AirJoy Pro. These are actually almost the same price headset. Listen, on a very basic level, these two headsets are low-cost gaming headsets, which means that they play audio, but they also have microphone functionality in case you're chatting to your friends or your teammates while you're playing games. Now, one of the main reasons why it's important to have the microphone built into your headset is that you're not always going to be sitting at your desk for content creation, being a streamer or making videos like I'm doing here right now. You don't always have a boom arm with an expensive microphone pointed at you. You just need a built-in mic. So the main difference between these two headsets when it comes to the mic is that the AirJoy Plus, which goes for something like $35 US, has the mic built in. You can't actually remove this. So when you want to wear the headset, it looks like this. When you want to take this mic away because, I don't know, maybe you're recording a video and you're not even using this mic, you're using this mic, there's nothing you can do with this mic. It's stuck here. However, if you go for the AirJoy Pro, then when you're playing with your games and chatting to your teammates like this, you can actually have the microphone set into the headset, and when you're not using it, let's say you're recording a video with a nicer microphone or something, you can just pull it out like so. The microphone plugs in with a standard 3.5mm jack, but as you can already see, one of the issues with this microphone is that it's not very easy to place it in a good place that sounds nice. Now, you do have some very small amount of control over the microphone gain, so you can have it far away from you and turn the gain up, or you can have it close to you and turn the gain down. But generally speaking, to get a good sound, you do need to have it there's like a sweet spot that you need to find. And although it does bend like this, you can see you like bend it and then it just kind of floats back to wherever it was. If I just bend it like so, you can see it just kind of bends back to wherever it was. But actually, that's not the main thing that I want to tell you about the mic. The main thing about this mic is that it sounds appalling. And if you choose this AirJoy Pro headset, then although it sounds quite nice in the ear cups, the microphone, it's going to make you some enemies. If you use this microphone to talk to your friends on your Discord chat or the in-game chat on your PlayStation, they're probably going to be like, why do you sound like you're talking through a paper cup? It genuinely sounds like that. Which is kind of frustrating because my overall impression of actually both these headsets is that for the price, $35 for the Plus and $39 for the Pro, they actually sound surprisingly good for the money. To the point that I would actually not mind using this as my headset for playing games. And I'll tell you the main reason why I don't mind is because in addition to sounding surprisingly good, both these headsets have something called virtual surround sound. Now, unlike other headsets that I've used on this channel, it doesn't have a subscription or like a trial or anything to Dolby Atmos, which is something that is built into some games, but not all games. Instead, it's just got virtual surround sound. Now, I don't know exactly how they're doing it, but instead of using Dolby Atmos, which is programmed to give you surround sound in certain games, instead, it's just giving you virtual surround sound, and I think it's just applying it to any game that you play. And as you know, I don't play a whole lot of first-person shooter games, but I tried it in Borderlands, which there were no options in the game to actually turn on like a surround sound mode, but literally just turning surround sound in the EKSA settings, turning on the game, it was just automatically in surround sound. I was like, I'm pointing myself this way, turn this way, I can hear it from the right, turn all the way around, and then I can hear it coming from behind me. Now, I won't go into the psychoacoustics of it all, but it really comes down to the fact that on your human ears, you've got these squishy bits, and sounds that come from behind you have to go around the squishy bit and then come back in. And so as a result of the sound like going around like this, a lot of the higher end frequencies get rolled off. Like I was saying before, you can remove the microphone from the AirJoy Pro, but you can also just remember, you can also remove the main cable, which is where the sound comes from. Now, this cable is kind of special because on one end, it's USB-C, which goes into the headphones over here, but on the other end, it's just USB-A. And you can plug this into most ports on your computer or the front ports on your PlayStation 4. You also get another cable in the box, which is USB-C to go into the headphones on one side, but it's a standard 3.5mm jack, which means you don't have to plug the headphones into the PlayStation. You can also just plug it into the base of your PlayStation controller. You can just find the headphone jack here and you can just plug it in like so, which means that if you've got a wireless controller, you can sit on your couch maybe 10 meters away or 20 meters away from your PlayStation and still have your headphones reach the controller. Which brings me to the problem with the AirJoy Plus. And again, like for the price difference of like $4 or $5, it really makes no sense to choose this one because this is a wired connection. You can't remove this. But on the other end of this cable, on the AirJoy Plus, can you see it's only USB, and as far as I'm aware, it doesn't come with an adapter to turn it into a 3.5mm jack, which means that this is the limit of the distance that you can be away from your console. Like, you can't be any further than this. It's something like 10 feet. And as you can see, you can't plug the USB into a PlayStation controller. It's got to be plugged into your console or into your PC or a computer with a USB port. So the cable on the AirJoy Plus, not too flexible because you can't turn it into an actual audio cable, but you can remove the end of it and turn it into a USB-C plug in case you've got a device that doesn't have USB-A ports. Now, a few things are exactly the same on both headsets. This is the Pro here, and as you can see, you just flip the cups like this to wear them. You flip them back like this if you want to fold them flat to go into your bags more easily. You can see it's the exact same thing here on the AirJoy Plus, but as you can see, these cables are not removable, and so you just have to wind the cables around the headset or something. They do both come with these really nice, soft, kind of neoprene type bags for carrying them in. On both headphones, you can quickly mute your microphone just by pressing a single button, and they both have volume dials. I really like having volume dials as opposed to pressing buttons. Now, technically speaking, I think if you use buttons to control your volume, you can make sure that it's a much cleaner signal, because once you put an analog roller in here, technically it might lower the quality of the sound unless you use a good, potentiometer. But personally, I don't find that to be much of an issue. I much prefer headphones that don't have digital plus and minus buttons. Having this roller dial is super easy because when I'm just listening to something, it's just like, oh, wow, it's way too loud. I just roll it down or roll it up, and it's very obvious. It's just like rolling it up goes louder, rolling it down goes quieter. And the last thing I want to talk about with regards to design is the fact that they are both very light. The whole point of the name AirJoy is that these are really light headphones. They're always like, these are really lightweight headphones and you can wear them for hours with no fatigue. And yes, that's true, but I've got a pair of headphones which is a little bit heavier than, these headphones are a little bit heavier than the AirJoys, but they're much more comfortable. And even though they're heavy, I don't mind wearing these for hours on end. And it comes down to these cups and the design of this over here. When you look at the AirJoy, remember, they're trying to do this at a price of $35 to $39. So they've got not a lot of extra spare cash to spend. But, they've made sure that it's nice and lightweight. In all the right places, it is soft. But when I wear them, it's something about these cups, even though they're nice and soft, once they've been compressed, they become a little bit harder, of course, because they've been compressed. And then once you're wearing them, I feel them right here. I don't know what this is called, the part of the jaw right behind your jaw right here. I just didn't feel very comfortable with it pushing in there. This is the natural position for it, and when I pull it all the way out, you can feel like quite a palpable amount of tension. All that tension is being put back on my head. So yes, it's light, but it's pinching, and I find that worse. Anyway, this is where it starts to get a little bit strange. Although the audio quality does sound pretty good on both, the cups, these ear cups on the AirJoy Plus are actually more plushy and nicer than the AirJoy Pro. It's got this like breathable fabric, which doesn't really work for me. The ear cups on the AirJoy Plus, these have got like a really plushy feel to them. And honestly speaking, it creates a better seal as well. But the big difference is the microphone. This AirJoy Plus microphone is 10 times better than the microphone that comes on the AirJoy Pro, which is very frustrating because although the Pro does have more of the features that are convenient, like the ability to remove all of the cables, you can remove the microphone. It's got a 3.5mm jack, or you can use USB. The thing is, the AirJoy Pro is not as comfortable, in my opinion, and the microphone is it's really not a good microphone. Alright, so this is probably a really terrible way to do this test, but I want to record both microphones at the same time.
This is the sound of the EKSA AirJoy Plus.
And this is the sound of the EKSA AirJoy Pro.
Sound number 1.
Sound number 2.
AirJoy Plus.
AirJoy Pro.
Let's grind!
Let's grind!
So anyway, this is the sound of the mics, and I'm just going to use them for the rest of the video if you don't mind. Essentially, I was really impressed with the sound of these headphones. For $35 or $39, either one you choose, I think sound really very, very good for this price.
You kind of miss out on bassy areas. The mids are a little bit more prominent than you might expect.
The treble areas are not quite as clear and pristine as you might like them to be, but honestly, to jump up to the levels that I want them to be, you would have to spend at least 10 times as much. At least 8 or 9 or 10 times as much on headphones to get a sound that I would like out of headphones. These headphones, in my opinion, they sound like they're $100, maybe just over $100. Like the quality that you're used to from a lot of headphone companies. Being able to use the surround sound feature was actually much easier and much more impressive than I was expecting it to be. And both of these headphones do it. So whether you choose the one for $35 or the one for $39, they both do virtual surround sound. They have different softwares, so you have to download AirJoy Plus software
and AirJoy Pro software.
And the AirJoy Pro software is actually a little bit more intense. It's got not only the sounds and graphic equalizer that both apps have, but the AirJoy Pro also has a surround sound mode that you can enhance and make. It's kind of like a bass boost that you can add to the surround sound. It's got a bunch of demos, but it's also got like these weird effects to make it sound like you're underwater or in a cathedral or in a big boomy room or in a slightly smaller studio room. Listen, I hope this video has been helpful to you because personally I was really surprised by the quality of the sound and the effectiveness of the virtual surround and the ease of use of the software. I think they do look quite cool as well. They've got red glowing bits on them. One of them's got like scratch marks and one of them's got dots, or I think you could choose different colors as well. There might be a purple version as well. But yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum because one of them's a little bit more comfortable and has better audio quality.
But the other one you can actually plug into a controller and sit further away from the TV. And
honestly, I think both are pretty important features. So really, my opinion is that EKSA should just axe both of these models and just give you one that is the more expensive price that has all the features of both. But that's just my opinion. Hope this video has been useful to you. I will see you all in the next NihongoGamer video and or stream. You can follow me on Twitch, you can follow me on Twitter, and you can hang out in the NihongoGamer Discord if you want to chill out and talk about gear, headphones, game consoles, drawing, Japan, all that stuff. I'll see you all in the next NihongoGamer video and or stream.